What would you do if you went from sleeping on park benches to inheriting $12 million overnight? This homeless man's story will completely change how you see success and happiness. And what he chose to buy first, it's not what you think. Stay with me because this story gets more incredible with each twist. Picture this. It's a freezing December morning in Chicago. Robert Martinez, 58 years old, is digging through a dumpster behind a fancy law firm, looking for something, anything, to eat. His clothes are torn, his beard unkempt, and he hasn't had a hot meal in 3 days. Now imagine the shock on the faces of two lawyers in $3,000 suits when they approach this man and say, "Excuse me, sir, are you Robert Martinez? We've been looking for you for months. You've just inherited $12 million. Robert's first reaction? He laughed. He thought it was a cruel joke. But when they showed him the legal documents, his hands started shaking. The wealthy uncle he'd never met, the one his family said had disowned them, had left everything to him. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. Most people would rush to buy a mansion, a fancy car, maybe some designer clothes. But Robert's first stop wasn't a dealership or a real estate office. It was the local homeless shelter where he'd been getting meals for the past 2 years. He walked in, still in his old clothes, and asked to speak with Maria, the volunteer who had always treated him with dignity when others looked away. When she saw him, she smiled that same warm smile and asked if he needed lunch. Robert looked at her and said, "Maria, I need to ask you something. What does this place need most?" She was confused but answered, "Well, we need a new kitchen, more beds, and honestly, we're always 1 month away from closing due to lack of funds." That's when Robert pulled out a checkbook. Yes, he'd already been to the bank, and wrote a check for $2 million. Maria fainted right there on the spot, but that was just the beginning of Robert's incredible journey. He didn't buy a single luxury item for himself. Instead, he bought the building next to the shelter and turned it into a job training center. He hired former homeless people as counselors. He created a program that didn't just feed people. It gave them skills, dignity, and hope. When reporters asked him why he chose this path, Robert said something that gave me chills. "Money didn't make me rich. The streets taught me what real wealth looks like. It's seeing someone else succeed because you believed in them." Today, Robert lives in a modest 2-bedroom apartment above the shelter. He drives a used Honda Civic, but he's helped over 400 people get back on their feet. His Robert's Second Chance Foundation operates in 12 cities. And here's the most beautiful part of the story. Last month, I visited Robert's shelter. I watched him serve breakfast to a young mother with 2 kids who'd just lost their home. As he handed her a warm plate, she whispered, "Thank you," with tears in her eyes. Robert looked at me and said, "You know what? I was never truly homeless. I just hadn't found my home yet. My home is helping others find theirs." That's when it hit me. The real fortune Robert inherited wasn't the $12 million. It was the wisdom to understand that true wealth isn't what you accumulate. It's what you give away that multiplies. Robert Martinez proved that sometimes the people society overlooks are the ones who understand life's most important lessons. If Robert's story touched your heart like it did mine, hit that like button and share this video with someone who needs to hear it today. And tell me in the comments, what would you do with $12 million? I'll be reading every single response. Subscribe for more incredible human stories that remind us what really matters. Because sometimes the most powerful transformations happen when we least expect them.